Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video going to be doing a playthrough of the new Final Fantasy XI collaboration event to mark off Final Fantasy XI's final content patch. Since it is the final one, this is basically going to be one last big hurrah, and with the collaboration event in Final Fantasy XIV taking place from November 11th to December 30th, 2015, I figured, as someone who played it for 7 years, I should probably just do a recording of me doing this event. It would be almost wrong for me to not share this moment with all of you, since I've shared most other moments with all of you, and this is going to be a pretty big one. So, without further ado, in case you haven't done this quest yet, it is in Limsa at the Adventurers Guild, and again, it will only be available until December 30th, 2015. After that point, I don't see it returning at any point. You never know, but I imagine with it being here for almost an entire 2 months that this will be the only chance that you get to do it. So, we're going to be getting quite a few pieces of armor. Don't know how long this event is either. We're also going to be doing a lot of reading, so there will be spoilers here to the event itself. Remumu has caught wind of a promising story and seeks an adventure to help separate fact from fiction. This quest is available for a limited time only. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a moment? I'm Remumu with the Harbor Herald, and judging by your dress, you're one of those well-traveled adventurers I've heard so much about. No doubt one as worldly as yourself has heard the rumors of an unusual warrior maiden from the Far East. Danger constantly follows in her footsteps, and her Far Easterners I've spoken with claim her dress and fighting style are nothing like they've seen before. Samurai confirmed. Do you know what happened the last time a strange warrior from the unknown lands came to Eorzea? That upstart Peter Winsome practically stole the parchment from my desk to write her story. I think that's in reference to the Lightning event, or the Shantoto event. I'm pretty sure that's the Lightning event they're referring to. Our readership soon doubled, and he's been regarded as the Harbor Herald's finest reporter ever since. Let's see. That should have been my story, and I'll be damned if he beats me to this one. But if following her is as dangerous as it sounds, I'll need an adventurer like yourself to keep me safe. If you're interested, meet me at Costa del Sol. Meet me at Costa del Sol. That's where she was last spotted, and that's where I plan to start. Oh, would you look at that? The Final Fantasy XI thing. I'm trying to remember if that was the guy who was involved in the Lightning story or not. It's been quite some time, so I don't remember. In case any of you are wondering, this is not my main character. This is indeed my alt. My main character, I usually save these kind of events to do with my girlfriend. Nothing like the sounds of Costa del Sol. Alright, see what we got going here, cutscene-wise. I like how it's just like, that's where she was last spotted, therefore, if we just stand here, we'll probably find her. She was here just a few bells ago, or so I was told. Oh, and there she just happens to be. Could it be? I like the camera swivel. Hey, there she is. I like how they had to use the same music as they did in the Hildebrand questline for Gilgamesh. Please do not think me strange for asking, but can you tell me if we are close to Selbina? or perhaps Muhara. I fear I am hopelessly lost. Referring to Final Fantasy XI zones. Those were port towns in Final Fantasy XI, 2 of which were connected to each other via a ship that you could get on the ship, and actually it would take, like, I believe it was a 12 to 15 minute ride, and there were enemies that could spawn up top of the deck, some really strong ones. You could get raided by pirates, or you could just fish or just cower for your life the entire time. Sorry, dear, but you're on the eastern shore of Vilbrand, in eastern Lenosha to be precise. I take it you're the far eastern traveler that's been the talk of the tavern as of late. You've cut quite the warpath through Eorzea from what I've heard. Yes, I hail from the far east, but Vilbrand? Lenosha? I cannot recall such names, though truth be told, I cannot recall much of anything since awakening in these strange surroundings. You've lost your memory? No, of course she has. Her name is Iroha. I am training in the way of the glaive, though I feel I am still a novice. Before awakening here, I was on a mission yeah, forgive me. It's hard to make sense of what little I can recall. The only clear thoughts in my mind are of master, and a powerful technique I labor to perfect. Amatsu Kiori. I am certain it is essential to completing my mission. Perhaps that's the key. If you continue to practice your master's teaching, it stands to reason other related memories might come back to you. That does seem plausible. I do not doubt many of the techniques I learned have a specific purpose. It would only be a matter of focusing on this particular one. Don't worry, I'll help her out. Yes, a Far Eastern warrior on a very special mission. No, we're not in danger. Calm down. I'm here. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'll help her remember everything, and you can write your big story. Training won't do you any good if you get lost. Hey, how come no one gave me a map? I mean, granted, we all had a map, but I had to uncover all that crap on my own. How come she just gets a free one? I was lost at one point. Excellent place for training. Something about aquatic wildlife being suitable for sparring. If the creatures here are similar, I would very much like to try my hand against them. Don't worry. We'll be okay. Do I have to do the cancer fate? Please tell me I don't have to do that. Please tell me that's not part of this. There's no way it would be a part of this. And she's just gonna walk away. I'll go with her, don't worry. Don't wave your finger at me, Lalafell. I think it's pretty funny that they referenced Muhara. Alright, what do I need to do? Our favorite pest time. So it's not the oh no, it's a special event fate, it looks like. I see Iroha in the distance. Alright. Oh well, there's the other fate in the area. I like how they basically make fun of the fact that these creatures look exactly the same. I'm pretty sure that's what they were doing. They were poking fun at the fact that these are the exact same. So like, if these creatures are similar, it's like, they're not just similar, it's the exact same model taken from Final Fantasy XI. I heard before doing this, there were quite a few cracks at Final Fantasy XI in terms of, like, making fun of the game as a whole. Not really making fun of it, more like poking fun at it, like the different aspects of the game that, you know, people both criticized and loved. Iroha, please. I like how my only objective is to keep Iroha. It just says Iroha 1 out of 1. To begin her training, I wonder how much training she has to do. I also don't like how she runs from enemy to enemy. Also, I just realized this was the Final Fantasy XI battle theme playing. I just realized that. It actually fits really nicely into this game. It fits, like, really, really well into... You know what? It's because it's Final Fantasy music. Let's be real. Final Fantasy music just fits really well in all the games. Like, I don't think there's any debating that. No, Iroha. She'll be fine. We can just take out all the other crabs in the area. As long as we take out the crabs, it doesn't really matter. Wonder if anyone's actually doing that fate over there. It looked like someone was doing it for a short time. Looks like they gave up on it, though. I actually kind of want to watch her animations a little bit to see if she's using Final Fantasy XI attacks or if she's using Final Fantasy XIV attacks. I think I just saw her use Doom Spike. Yeah, it looks like she's using Final Fantasy XIV. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but the first boss in Pharaoh Series Hard Mode used Final Fantasy XI attack models, specifically the one for Vorpal Blade. And also, it was, again, another model from Final Fantasy XI, the Jailer of Fortitude, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't feel like it was wrong to expect maybe she had some Final Fantasy XI abilities. Maybe see her use Pentathrust or something. Alright, we're about halfway done with this event. I wonder if this is the only fate, because it says to begin her training. I wonder if there's other fates after this. Yeah, she's really, really strong. We don't have to follow her around and kill the exact same enemies that she does. I saw her use Full Thrust. She's also not using her abilities. But you know what? Maybe she'll perfect her techniques as she's going. Maybe that's the thing. You know, I just wonder, maybe I do have to help her kill them. That might actually be the entire point of the mission. Let me see if I get credit for killing this thing. I didn't even realize. I'm supposed to be helping her train. I don't think... Yeah. Oh, no, it worked. I don't think helping her kill... I mean, just killing the crabs that she's not fighting would really help her train. But I guess the game seems to think so. Alright. I can honestly just go around dotting everything and I should be okay. Also, I notice these crabs are... Also, by the way, robber crabs, name of an enemy in, if I'm not mistaken, robber crabs. I don't remember which crab zone that was from. I don't think those are the same as the crabs from Valkyrie Dune. No, because those were snippers and whatnot. Robber crabs were, I believe, level 50-ish crabs that you could EXP off of in the Boyata tree in the Valley of... No, not in the Valley of Sorrows, in the other zone. I can't remember the name. Oh, that was also... That success noise is also from Final Fantasy XI. Oh, so we need to go back to Limsa Lominsa. Okie dokie. It was from, what was the area right next to Valley of Sorrows? I can't remember it. It looked just like the Valkyrie Dunes, but it had raptors and whatnot. Oh, man, it's killing me here. Not the Valley of... This Valley of Sorrows is where Adamantoise and Espito Shalone spawn. It's killing me that I can't remember the name. It's killing me. I know you could also find them in Kuftal Tunnel, and Kuftal Tunnel was how you got to this zone. I'm gonna have to look it up before the end of the video. Oh, why am I accepting this random quest? It's like a level 5 quest I just accepted for no reason. I was so excited I couldn't handle it. Let's see. Abandon that and do this one. Training at the beach was invigorating. It's been too long since I enjoyed such sport. Would like to think I improved my form. Yeah, I don't know about that. Testing my strength against their hardened shell swing after swing over and over again. I could easily spend days or even weeks. Only I could remember who suggested that training regimen. Oh, don't worry. We're going to remember very soon. Let's see if this helps her get her memory back. Something dark. Oh, the shadow. Oh, that is the Shadow Lord. That might have even been one of the other things, but the Shadow Lord was the original antagonist of Final Fantasy XI. The leader of a horde of beastmen that tried to take over. Well, tried to destroy all the other civilizations in the area and take over and make it so it was a world ruled by beastmen. Because they found the enlightened races, which were basically the equivalent of our 6 races. Their 5 races were the equivalent of our 6. He was just trying to destroy them. So because they didn't feel they destroyed. That was in the Crystal War, if I'm not mistaken, which was actually also where the expansion, the Wings of the Goddess, took place, where it took us back in time to the Crystal War. All the more reason to hurry up with my training. While waiting for your arrival, I asked a couple travelers from Gridania, I think. It might find creatures more dark and unusual. Only a place called Hawk Manor. Oh, so we're going to have to go outside of Hawk Manor to fight the next enemies. There's more story behind the Shadow Lord, of course. His actual name was Raugrim. He was actually a Galka that was betrayed by his friends. This story is a lot more deep. They were a band of warriors that went to Zarkabard and Castles of All on a scouting mission, and there was a lot of betrayal involving loved ones and whatnot. So on that note, I need to go to participate in the fate. Yep. Right outside there. It would probably be faster for me to go to Gridania and then take the port out, but I always go this way. Alright, let's head this way. I'm trying to incorporate as much Final Fantasy XI knowledge as humanly possible into whatever is relevant for the quests. A lot of these enemies you see in the game obviously are reskins or higher quality textures of those in Final Fantasy XI. So I'm assuming the enemies we're going to fight here are going to be the same deal, more enemies. In fact, I kind of want to read through some of her text again. I believe that will suffice for now. Fighting alongside... Nope, never mind. Let me see if I can... These creatures sound like promising opponents. See if I missed anything, what she said. Fate of the realm hanging in the balance. I remember. Well, the big thing to remember is Iroha is supposed to be the hero of the Rhapsodies, of the final patches for Final Fantasy XI. She's supposed to be the hero, and it's supposed to be a culmination of everything that's happened so far in Final Fantasy XI, ending with one ultimate saving. And she's the one who matters for that. So she's really got to get back to her own land. Okay. Looks like I'm going to have to wait a little bit for this fate to spawn. Because I'm assuming it respawns like every minute or so. Or every like 5 minutes or something. I got pretty lucky with the first one, but... so what else can I really say about Final Fantasy XI in this time? Man, the final patch. A lot of people want me to go back and play Rhapsodies. The problem is it is going to take so long. Unless I don't need to catch up on anything at all. Like, I would have to do the first part of Rhapsodies, the second part of Rhapsodies, to get to the third part of Rhapsodies, where there's actually a new zone, the Far East, which was always spoken about, but we were never allowed to go there in that game. But But I don't know if I need to do Seekers of Adolin. I don't know if I need to do not Chains of Promethea. Wings of the Goddess. Because I never finished Wings. Hell, I don't even think I ever finished Otter-Gon now that I mention it. I didn't really get too invested in the story of Otter-Gon. I just remember at that point, I was at the age where I was kind of just logging in, doing Dynamis, doing Limbus, doing Sky, doing Sea, doing Great Wyrms, doing Kings. And at that point, I was like, you know, I have access to all the endgame content. And I already know what happens in the story, so I'm not going to complete the missions. Wings of the Goddess, I was a lot more thorough, but I quit the game well before Wings of the Goddess met its conclusion. So I'm missing a lot of story still in Final Fantasy XI. The only two that I really finished from start to finish was Rise of Xylart and Chains of Promethea. And that was mostly because in order to get to all of the content in Chains of Promethea, you needed to finish the entire story. Whereas with Otter-Gon, they kind of didn't go that route. You needed certain missions, but they were very early missions in order to access things like Salvage and Enheriar. So I never ended up doing them. And Nizul Isle and all that stuff that came out eventually. Then with Wings of the Goddess, you did eventually have to do the story to unlock certain things, especially really early on in Wings of the Goddess. But I quit before you needed to do them in order to get to some of the much later missions. In fact, I don't even think you ever really needed Wings of the Goddess missions to do the later content. As I remember going in there and doing it when I went back as a level 99 just to see what it was like. And I didn't have to do any more Wings of the Goddess missions. Which is weird. I actually really liked the story missions in Final Fantasy XI. Although the Chains of Promethea ones were... let's just say that you never thought you could have a bad party for a story mission, right? Oh, how you could definitely have a bad story, or a bad party for a story mission in 11. I think my most hated one might have been the Fomiana Aqueducts. The Fomiana Aqueducts were really, really bad, and they were even worse for me because I had my Puppet Master at the time, and there was a boss in there called Tres Duendes, which was a pair of 3 bats as well as an ad that would spawn with it, and that boss actually was, first of all, really hard to get people that were willing to do that boss. Second of all, he had 3 drops, and only one of them was even really good. Actually, I take that back. His drops were, I think all of his drops were pretty good. They were just good for that level range and nothing else. But he had one drop called the Vampiric Claws, which Vampiric Claws did... Oh, Iroha's here. I think the fate's about to begin. Sorry, I'll have to interrupt this story for another time. It's actually pretty cool. I'm actually kind of glad I got here before she did. Because that was pretty cool. I'm just going to wait to see what spawns. Oh, demons. Yeah. Well, these aren't the exact... Oh, actually, yeah, these are the same models as the ones in Final Fantasy XI. Although I have to imagine we're going to be killing more imps and demons in this. I don't know. The quest is completing pretty fast. I'm not seeing any respawns yet. These ice spikes are destroying me, though. I aggroed a regular eye. That's annoying. That's annoying. Not like it's not going to take more than 2 seconds to kill, but... Okay, it may take a little bit longer than 2 seconds to kill. I'll just kill this thing off so it doesn't bother me. Alright, more Gore Demons. Is it just going to be... Oh, nope, there's Tarbitors here, too. Okay, so the one thing that made Fomiana Aqueducts really annoying were the Taurus monsters. Because they were what was called true sight, where if you walked near them, regardless of any sort of stealth, or if you walked in front of them, I should say, they would aggro you no matter what kind of stealth you were implementing. So what you would have to do in the Fomiana Aqueducts is wait just for them to turn around, just so you could walk up to a ladder and walk up it. And then you still had to hope that by the time you climbed the ladder, they hadn't turned around and aggroed you and then followed you up the ladder. So items like re-raise were a lot more important there. Re-raise being the ability to resurrect after death without the need of another player. Yeah, re-raise was pretty much mandatory for almost everything when it came to Chains of Promethea, because there were so many places where you would just die. There was no way. You really had to go Metal Gear Solid on everything in there. And so getting everybody past that was really, really rough. So much so to the point where the most common strategy for the story mission in there was to have one player who's really, really confident go alone. So that way there was no risk of multiple people aggroing things. And when they went alone, there was a boss they could aggro at the end that would automatically pull everyone in the zone to their location. So it made it so that's all you really had to do, was zone in, was get one person to the very end, and then from there you could finish the mission. And from there, even if your group was going for something like Tres Duendes, you could just do that, kill the boss, and then walk away, and then go over to Tres Duendes, who wasn't that much farther. Gotta love that level up noise. Oh shit, I de-leveled and I like destroyed him. Alright, now we need to go to New Gridania for the next mission. So those demons, Shadow Lord was most recognized as the leader of the demon beastman race. So I'm assuming that, see, I don't actually know the stories of Rhapsodies. So it's actually completely new to me to see what is going on in her head. I can't immediately draw conclusions like, oh yeah, that's her mission, she's remembering it, because I don't know what her mission is. I haven't done any Rhapsodies of Vana'diel at all. Okay, here she is. So let's see what the next storyline cutscene looks like. I couldn't even tell. I should have paid attention more. I should have seen if she was fighting better. I wonder if this is going to pull up a picture of Promethea, or if it sticks mostly to the Shadow Lord story. But the color is, wait, do you hear that? Prish and Ulmia. They are from the Chains of Promethea story, two of the main characters. I wonder if it's going to go through each expansion. A long and arduous journey together with a young girl. The vision is not what I expected. We fought many battles together. We were not alone. No, I dare say our comrades were well beyond counting. But what business would I, a lowly student, have undertaking such missions? I cannot make sense of it. So I must thank you for this. Before meeting you, I was hopelessly lost, smothered by a fog of fear and uncertainty. Now I have your light to guide me. You have brought me yet another step closer to completing my training and unlocking the memories still dormant. After speaking with a few of the patrons here, I believe the perfect place to continue owning my skills would be the Sigoli Desert. I knew that's where we were going. If what I was told is true, a creature of unspeakable terror roams the sands. Sandworm, most likely. They say its strength is impossible to gauge. So, Notorious monsters in Final Fantasy XI, you were able to check all enemies in the game, and it would either say too weak, easy prey, decent challenge, even match, tough, very tough, incredibly tough, or impossible to gauge. Impossible to gauge means it is an open world boss, a notorious monster. Any notorious monster in the game, it would say impossible to gauge. As no one lives to tell of its great might. But together, I believe we can lay the beast low. When we have finished, we can take our hard-earned rest in Ul'dah. So now we have to go find this notorious monster. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Sigoli Desert. Sigoli Desert. Let's go to Forgotten Springs. This is... Oh, it's Circuit! Oh my god. Really? Circuit doesn't spawn in a desert. Circuit spawned in Garlage Citadel. So Circuit Breaker is the name of the fate that we're about to have to do right here. And just to be clear, it's right over there. Well, it just started. It said 0%. I should make it. But Circuit was a giant scorpion notorious monster that would spawn in the basement of Garlage Citadel. There's a lot of level 50 enemies in the area. If I remember correctly, it was mostly bats and... It was bats, beetles... What else? Skeletons, weapon-type monsters, ghosts. It was basically a Citadel of the Dead, if you could think of it that way. And then there were some other creatures that inhabited it. But Circuit Breaker dropped a ring that was very, very coveted for a very long time. It was a ring that would decrease your HP by 50, but would increase your MP by 50. I believe it also had one int and one mind on it, but I don't remember that exactly. But it was a very, very expensive and coveted ring. So... It's a very memorable notorious monster. It's also one that, as a low-level player, you very often... Well, as you're leveling your first time, so it was a pleasure to go to a leveling area, because people would level their regular jobs there. Hopefully I can get this... I don't think I'll get this credit in time. I hit it once, but that's not going to give me gold. Yeah, it gave me... That did not give me credit, unfortunately. Not enough credit, so I'll have to wait a few minutes for it to respawn. So we're going to just chill here while I wait to get the rest of my credit. I'm assuming I'm not the only one who didn't get full credit, because there's a few other people standing around her as well. Or they're just taking screenshots. That's the more likely thing. And now she's going to walk back to Ul'dah, and we're going to have to wait here a few minutes for Circuit to come back. But yeah, so as a person leveling your first class to around level 50, there are a few areas you could go. Garlage Citadel, you could go to at around 32, but you would be on the upper floors. At level 50, you could go to the lower floors, and the lower floors looks like we have some there we go. Just want to bow and say thank you. Although I'm gonna have to sit here and wait. So anyway, salutes. I will salute you back. There we go. So, yeah, so as a level 50, there were a few places you could level, and Garlage Citadel's basement was one of them. And that's exactly where Circuit spawned, was in that basement. Anywhere around it, but only once every, I believe, like, day or so he would spawn. So he was really coveted, and when you were leveling there, it was almost expected at least maybe once or twice you would run into somebody camping Circuit there in the basement. And it would be your first really big boss enemy that you would see out in the open world. Granted, there are other big bosses you could see out in the open world. There were rams that existed in the Lethene Plateau and the Kronstadt Highlands. There were some basic ones, but there was Blood Tier Baldriff, which was one I experienced at about level 25-ish. I ran into Blood Tier Baldriff, so I had a very early game experience when it came to him. There was also, I can't remember, I believe it was Steel Fleece something. I can't remember. It was Steel Fleece something for the other one in Kronstadt. And those were actually part of a monk quest line, where you could, basically, monks started off with a white belt early in the game. And at level 18, you could get a quest for a purple belt. In order to get the purple belt, you needed to get a horn from Lumbering Lambert and the Rampaging Ram, which I believe were the lower versions of Steel Fleece, whatever his name is, and Blood Tier Baldriff. I believe it's Steel Fleece something with an S, because they used a lot of alliteration in Final Fantasy XI to name notorious monsters in the early game, like Leaping Lizzie and Jaggedy Ear Jack and things like that. So you needed those items, but at level 18 you were nowhere near strong enough to beat the enemies to get your purple belt. So very often what would happen is you would shout in the zone like, "Hey, is anybody here camping the purple belt?" If you get no answer, then you know that if you hang around the zone, it's likely that you may be able to get it done just from asking a friend to come help and camp the enemy. That being said, you were not guaranteed. And also, Steel Fleece and Blood Tier were like level 50 to 55-ish, and you're only level 18 at this point in the game. So you absolutely couldn't do it alone. Hell, you couldn't even do the other ones, the weaker ones, alone. They were too strong. So you had to kill them, and you had to get their horns. It was 100% drop rate, if I remember correctly. It was just that Steel Fleece and Blood Tier had additional drops that you could get that would you could sell on the auction house. And then at level 40, you would get the brown belt, which you were kind of in a better spot to do the brown belt Notorious monsters as a level 40, but you still weren't really high enough. I think the only one I ever successfully soloed as a level 40 was, I believe it was the Cockatrice one. I can't remember, but there was a Cockatrice enemy. There was a Malboro called Morbulgar, and there was a saber-toothed tiger named New. The only one I can't remember is the Cockatrice enemy. And then you could get your brown belt, and then your black belt, which you could get at 75, would come from an Adamantoise egg, which you could get from either the Adamantoise that would spawn once per day, and there would be competition for it, or basically it was a system called the Three Kings. And these were basically giant monsters that would only spawn once per day, akin to Final Fantasy XIV's like Odin or King Behemoth and whatnot, or just Behemoth as he's called here. They would just spawn like once every day or so, and there would either be a really weak version of it, like the Adamantoise, Fafnir, or Behemoth, or there would be a slightly stronger version, and by slightly I mean usually immensely stronger version, called Nidhogg, King Behemoth, or Espedo Chelone. Now, when I say Fafnir and Nidhogg, actually a lot of people thought Fafnir was the harder one. Nidhogg did have some things that he did that were really annoying, though. Fafnir, I believe, auto-attacked like 2 to 3 times every single time because of his one of the weapons that he dropped, which caused him to have that. So, basically, you needed to get your black belt items from these enemies. You would have like 200 plus people camping them. And so you not only needed to be one of the people that claimed it, but you need to be lucky enough to get the drop. Now, the Nidhogg, Espedo Chelone, and King Behemoth had guaranteed drop rates of their items. They had 100%, but the other ones only had like a 5% drop rate. So it could take you a while to get your black belt, or it could take you like a week, depending on how lucky you were at level 75. You also had, there were also other bosses that could drop the items later on. Bosses that you could self-spawn, but they had much, much lower drop rates. I believe it was about 5% as well, similar to the regular enemies. So, it's pretty, as you can tell, I have a lot of memories of that game. I have a lot of things that I look back on, and I have somewhat fond memories, but I also have, like, oh, I would never do that again kind of memories. Like, you don't understand. In order to get these, to even be there for these kings to spawn, you needed to wait there at the least, like, 10 minutes. At the most, 3 hours. Because, basically, they had a 3-hour window between 21 and 24 hours after their last death, where they could spawn, but they could only spawn once every 30 minutes. So if you hit the first spawn window and it didn't spawn, you'd say, okay, the next chance for it to spawn is in 30 minutes. And you would keep doing that until it spawned, and at the 24-hour mark, if it hadn't spawned yet, it was guaranteed to spawn. So you could spend 3 hours there doing absolutely nothing, assuming you're not, like, doing, whatever, homework or whatever it is. Like, I was in high school, so I did homework in that time. And then, or you would just talk to your friends over, like, Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, whatever you were using at the time. Or you could just kill the enemies, or you could just sit there and stare at the screen for 3 hours. But either way, it was a lot of time to waste. It was a lot of time to waste. And I would never in my life sit there for 3 hours again. No way would I invest that kind of time. Iroha? We're waiting on you, Iroha. I like how it started, but Iroha's not even here yet. I know that fiend. Those jagged pincers dripping with venom. So, it's even funnier. It is Circuit, the infamous beast and slayer of countless men. See, she knows it. I just think it's funny that, there's how many jokes. We're investigating a rumor of a sinister creature. Iroha finds herself face to face with Circuit, a fearsome beast of legend. Join forces with Iroha to take the beast down. It's alright. Ow. Oh, I say ow, it didn't even hit me, but that's besides the point. It's a thought that counts, right? So yeah, it seems that, God, there's been a lot of Final Fantasy XI references thus far in the game. Between Prish, Shadow Lord, Ulmia, Impossible to Gauge, some of the references to the zones like Muhara, Selbina, some of the mocking of the use of higher quality textures. It's been a pretty good event. And I know a lot of people are looking at her and going, samurai. The thing is, she's a samurai. She is using a polearm. Samurais were somewhat proficient with polearms in Final Fantasy XI, although the Great Katana was still their weapon of choice. Well, it was still their best weapon, I should say. Not even their weapon of choice. It was their best weapon. I just know a lot of people are looking at her like, yeah, samurai, it's gonna happen soon. She's gonna teach our characters how to do it. That's what's gonna happen. That'd be pretty funny if they kept the Final Fantasy XI character in the game and had them teach us how to become samurai. And we find out that it had no origins, like Doma didn't even have samurais. They only had ninjas. That would be pretty funny. It would also be pretty ridiculous that a Final Fantasy XI canon character is the one teaching us as Final Fantasy XIV characters how to play a job in Final Fantasy XIV. You can see, like, this just goes in a giant circle. Oh, man. Yeah, well, I guess a lot more people were here for the Fate before, so there's quite a bit more health. And just like in Final Fantasy XI, it takes forever to kill this enemy. Oh my god. So in other news, some hilarious things happening in my Free Company chat. Some Diadem horror stories. Duty Finder Diadem, I-210 Dragoon Pants drop. Guy with a level 9 Lancer wins them. I'm sure everybody here watching this has some sort of horror story about that. Iroha, please do more damage. She did an 82 damage auto attack. That is what she did. A 76 damage auto attack. A 125 damage attack or something. Actually, I don't even think that was that. I think that was just my dots. I don't even know. Maybe that's not hers. Maybe it's not her auto attack. It just happens to be ticking at the same time. Alright. Circuit's almost dead, guys. We did it. By the way, Circuit's a lot harder than this in Final Fantasy XI. Oh, I say harder. He was a lot harder. He's obviously, he's kind of old news now in Final Fantasy XI, so I shouldn't really say he is. It's very old news. Also, this TP. This fight took a while. My TP's not doing so good, and I don't have Payon at this level. Any day now. There we go. Yep. Out of TP. God damn it. How do I keep dropping target like that? I don't know why that keeps happening. Well, the good news is I can clip my GCDs as much as I want. Doesn't matter, because I'm trying to get TP back at this point. Alright. And we're good. I wonder if that's the last part of the event. Oh, no, it's... Oh, no, here it is. Next event, Steps of Ul'dah. I already watched her do this whole goodbye thing, so I'm just teleporting. And yet, I find there's something within me still wanting. It's alright. We'll figure that out very soon. Whatever it is you're wanting, we'll know in a few seconds. Can move the camera there for a second. Whoop. Okay, Iroha. Let's see what your memories have in store for you now. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine confronting the legendary Circuit. And here's the Aura Stone Shard. Okay. What do you see now? It's going to be something from Treasures of Ottergon? A moral struggle, forbidden magics uttered in a final... That sounds like Fenrir being unleashed. Wow! I fucking called that so hard! I see, that's how much I knew about it, because I know that Fenrir was part of a... I know summoners were forbidden magic, and I knew that Fenrir was summoned kind of as a last resort. It's funny to see Fenrir in 11 here, because she doesn't know what Fenrir is in Final Fantasy XIV. The pitched battles, the arduous journeys, the fellowship of adventures. It was not my life that I recalled, but rather the tale of the great hero I mistook as myself. Hey, that was me! I was the great hero! Well, I guess I didn't... Well, I did all the things that she showed me, just not all the new things. I suspected such feats were too extraordinary to be my own, and the memories held within this stone never moved all doubt. They were a journey into the past, one that revealed a horrible truth I dare not repeat aloud. And I remember my home, Vana'diel! It is not some territory or continent, but an entirely different world. My true memories return to me now, and it is all thanks to you. More importantly, I believe I now understand how to wield the Amatsu Kiori. What? You were terrible at attacking that guy. It should not be long before my path home is clear to me as well. But first, I must see my training to its completion. While waiting here, I heard unsettling stories of a foul beast terrorizing Bronze Lake. This is the perfect opportunity to put into practice everything I have learned. Watch her be completely overpowered. Today is the day I wield the power of the Amatsu Kiori. After this last endeavor, let us meet in Limsa Lominsa. Alright. Let's do it, Iroha. Let us do it. Watch her be like a beast. I mean like a beast. Like she is going to demolish this thing. She's gonna go from being completely useless. I want to see if now she uses Final Fantasy XI attacks. Now that she's had the time. Okay, it's not up yet. I still probably a couple of minutes before it respawns. Alright, we got some other people joining the area right now. Wonder what enemy. The key to the Amatsu Kiori. Hey guys, you Final Fantasy XI jokers out there, get this. Guys, I need to build TP before we fight this enemy. Oh, pff, and immediately as soon as I shoot it. Alright, Iroha. I like how the fate isn't even on my minimap. I sense a dark presence. Is it going to be the Shadow Lord? Oh my god. Really? Really? So, funny thing about these enemies that... Well, I want to watch her, though. Funny thing about these enemies is that they were part of a level 25 fight That was part of the main story. It was the main story mission number 2, 3. So basically, your main story missions weren't a guide for you in Final Fantasy XI. They were something you definitely wanted to do because they came with great reward, and especially unlocking a lot of features in the game. But they were not the only thing. And at level 25, regardless of where your starting city was, you had to fight. And they chose these names, but these weren't the only names. You had to fight an Ahriman and a dragon. And it's one of the most memorable early game fights because it is your first real fight of the game. And this is just in remembrance of that. Now, the usual strategy for that was to have everyone zerg down the eyeball. Usually, that's monks made great for that because they had 100 fists, which they could just demolish the spotter. So, and then after that, you would take on the dragon. The dragon himself was really strong, especially if he used attacks like Body Slam. Body Slam could definitely deal a lot of damage to you, so you had to be pretty careful when dealing with him. Just make sure not to get too cocky and not to run out of MP was really the most important thing. Oh, so after we kill the eye... Oh, she's gonna go nuts and destroy this thing, isn't she? This power. I like how the dragon's sitting there waiting for her to figure out. Like, hey. Okay, now she's gonna go nuts on this thing. Oh, wait. I can't see her effects. I want to do this. I'm gonna have to do this again. Hold on. No. I need to see the effects. I need to see the effects. Scroll down. Show all. Alright. Did I press save? Yep, there we go. So what did she do? Did she buff herself or something? I want to take this nice and slow because I want to see what that attack was. If not, I will sit here and do this again. Just for the sake of seeing it. Okay, she went back from me to being useless, it seems. Okay. Can you do the Amatsu Kiori thing again, please? Although it didn't even look like it actually, like, did anything. It's hard to really tell. Please do the attack again. I'm begging you, Iroha. Do the Amatsu Kiori attack again. Stop doing that attack. Do the other one. Don't make me sit here and do this event again, please. If anything, I'll come back and find out what it looks like. I'll just include it at the end of the video or something. All I know is it looked like she was about to go Super Saiyan on that thing. Alright, fine, you win. Because now she's only doing full thrust at this point, so I don't think I'm going to get lucky and get her to do it again. Sadness. Sadness. That's what I get. That's what I get for playing with effects. I didn't expect it to not show her effects. Like, I had it set to show limited. I was kind of hoping that would mean it would still show hers. Sadness. Eh. You can always see it some other time. And it's dead. Alright, Iroha. I know well, that's your destination's not there anymore. Your training is complete, and it's all thanks to you. Oh, and also those two things worked for the Shadow Lord. Alright, here we go. Now we have to go back to Limsa Lominsa. I believe there's 2 parts of this quest left. Let us make for Limsa Lominsa. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. Let's go. As she slowly walks away. What the heck? Is she a Moogle? Sounds like a Moogle. Maybe it was the post-Moogle. Alright. Let's see what her memories yield this time. The power of the Amatsu Kiori is mine to command. Memories are slowly but surely returning. I think I could have forgotten a mission so vital. My resolve was unyielding, my mind focused. In the end, I fear I may have jeopardized all I hold dear. Try as we might, its destruction could not be forestalled, but fate saw fit to give me one last chance. I was allowed to travel back in time, to escape the past, before the darkness had consumed all. Oh, so that must be the story of Rhapsody's. It must have been, so she comes from the future of Vana'diel, trying to prevent its destruction. One last ultimate savior. And Master being the greatest hero, that's almost definitely the main hero. Like, the adventurer themselves. Like, you know how we're the main characters of Final Fantasy XIV? Most definitely was the adventurer himself. Before I leave, might we go and speak to Remumu? Alright. Let's go talk to Remumu. She should be upstairs, right? I'd imagine. Yep, here we go. Wonder what this final cutscene is going to be like. I'm sure it's going to be full of nostalgia. Okay, and here we go. Iroha told me the good news. Her memory is, for the most part, restored. Perhaps more importantly, her training is complete. You haven't come with me to Costa del Sol. I dare she should be swinging at crabs along the beach. Have you here? I'd very much like to talk to you about my story, about what you were doing before we arrived. How exactly did you come to be here in Eorzea? Alright, here we go. Share with us all the details. You have the right of it. No life was spared by the darkness. None save for mine, that is. Fate intervened and I was sent back to the past, to a time where I could find heroes capable of saving Vana'diel. Maybe Master isn't the adventurer. Maybe it isn't. I feel like it is because of the thoughts she keeps showing, but maybe it isn't. Last thing I remember is a fierce battle in a strange light. When next I awoke, I was here, to be torn away from Master when I was needed most. My heart feels like it may burst. Yeah, it sounds like I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about Rhapsody, so I should probably stop trying to guess about it. Master is probably someone else, though. Oh, let's see this. What's it gonna be? It all began with a stone, or so the story goes. In ages past, a sentient jewel, enormous and beautiful, banished the darkness. Its light filled the world with life and brought forth mighty gods. The world I know it's a woman, don't worry. The world entered an age of bliss, that is, until the gods fell into slumber. That world is my home, Vana'diel. Hey, I know all these. Hey, look, it's Shantoto on the right. Lucia on the left. It's home to 3 great nations, the kingdoms of Sandoria, the Republic of Bastak, the Federation. Look at all the characters. There's Sid in the bottom left. There's Ayame. I can't remember the name of that one. There's Zed and Greg. No, that's not his name. There's Tenzin. I couldn't remember the other guy. There's a lot of NPCs there. A single hero. See, that's what I'm saying. Powerful as they were, though, in Times of Strife, they returned to a single hero, my master. That has to be the player. Now I'm convinced. That's Promethea on the left, Kemlanot and Eildnark on the right. There's Matt. There's Gilgamesh on the right. There's the Archangels. There's, I can't remember his name, begins with an N. There's Bahamut on the bottom left. There's the Airn, which were the race of lost Xylardians. And that was, I couldn't remember that guy's name real quick. In the middle is Shadow Lord. Yeah, okay, we already spoke about him before. That's Fenrir. Of course, you guys know that. Oh, that's Naja Salahim on the right. Those are the great, the warriors of that, of Ot Urgan. You have what looks like Pandemonium Warden in the middle left. You have the main villain from Wings of the Goddess. You have the main hero on the bottom. Oh my god, they're all over the place. The one in the top, I know that one's from Seekers of Adolin. The bottom right, I believe, is another hero of Wings of the Goddess. On the bottom left, you have the hero of Ot Urgan. Lot of memories in those. Oh, why do we have to stop the music? Oh, don't tell me you think I'm your master. Ha! Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Yes, I am the warrior of light after all. When next I open my eyes, I will be home in Vanadil, once more at Master's side. This may be just a dream, but it is one I shall never forget. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. And that's going to bring a close to the event, the final collaboration event, to send off Final Fantasy XI. Is she going to actually disappear? Nope. Wait. Worked! No, it didn't. Ah, damn it. It would seem I'm not yet ready to return. Is this perhaps the will of the goddess? Oh, now I see why people said she's going to be the samurai job trainer, because she's not ready to leave yet. And now I'm just taking it all in. Now we can finish the quest. We'll get our armor. And one day she'll teach us how to be a samurai. Granted, she doesn't use a great katana, so that'd be kind of strange. And there you go. Final Fantasy XI collaboration event complete. Let's see how the armor looks on me. Heaven 11. Oh, of course. Alright, let's see what we got here. The Amatsu Hachigane. I probably have full inventory slots here, don't I? I hate myself. Oh, no, it's right. No, that's not it. It's probably right. Yep, there it is. The Amatsu Togi. I mean, it's her armor. That's what it is. The Amatsu Teko. Amatsu Haydite. And the Amatsu Tsuneate. Boom. There you go. In all its glory. We have a copy of her clothes now, and they look pretty damn sweet. And that, everyone, is the Final Fantasy XI event. Hopefully you learned some things about Final Fantasy XI's history and its past, some of the heroes, some of the villains. I could go on for hours talking about all the characters and cutscenes they just showed us there at the end, how they affiliate with their stories, but we would be here for a very long time. So anyway, thank you for watching this. Go get the event done if you haven't done it yourself so you can get this armor and check out some of the history of Final Fantasy XI now that you understand it a little bit better. So anyway, I will see you all in the next video. Time to get back to making my patch 3.1 guide, so I'll see you then. And until then, take care.